Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. Here is the Georgia versus Missouri professional betting news and notes from around the internet, and it's compiled by OffshoreInsiders.com for Georgia and Missouri. Georgia is a 2.5-point favorite. Georgia will indeed be without Bacardi Rambo and Alec Ogletree on Saturday. Status of Rambo and Ogletree suspended for last week's opener has been the source of much conjecture and speculation, and our source for that information is the Macon Telegraph. The depleted secondary struggled a bit in Georgia's 45-23 win over Buffalo last Saturday. The Bulls put up 253 yards and 16 points in the first half alone, but the Dawgs clamped down and allowed only 19 yards in the second half before a late 75-yard touchdown drive by Buffalo. Missouri's offense will be a step up in class for Georgia. Quarterback James Franklin is one of the country's top dual threats, and freshman wide receiver Dorial Green-Beckham is a big-bodied talent waiting to break out. Our source for that, CBS Sports. Now, all four players started last season. Cummings started all 14, in fact, and Rambo started 13 after being suspended for the opener against Boise State and would have played key roles against Missouri's passing attack. Now, Georgia will turn to players with far less experience, which certainly must alarm Bulldog fans after last Saturday's uneven performance against Buffalo. The Bulls accumulated 70 plays for 347 yards in their 45-23 loss. They do expect to get cornerback Malcolm Mitchell back, though. He had a sprained ankle that forced him out of the Buffalo game, but the replacements for the suspended stars, free safety Connor Norman, cornerbacks Damian Swan and Devin Bowman, and inside linebacker Armelo Herrera will be a challenge in their young careers against a James Franklin-led Missouri offense. Source for that, ESPN. No question about it. Has the odds makers over-adjusted, or is this a great opportunity for Missouri? Biggest bet on this game is from the top sports service ever, the greatest handicapper in the land, God's Tips. And by the way, we're going to have trends coming up on this game in a moment. But God's Tips has 7 college football winners for today. That includes the biggest pick in all of creation. A wise guy plays side. There are several line moves this week. Some are sharp, but some should not be chased. There are some Dumbo moves to fade. We've got the sharp versus square, competition consensus, and so much more, folks. 7-0 is within very striking distance of the greatest and most successful sports service of all time, God's Tips, anchor of OffshoreInsiders.com. Now some trends. All records are ATS. Georgia 10-1-1 their last 12 after accumulating more than 200 yards rushing in their previous game. But the Bulldogs are 5-11 versus a team with a winning record. Meanwhile, Missouri, the Tigers, are 7-3 after allowing less than 20 points in the previous game, but 3-8 on field turf. Some over-under trends to report. Missouri has gone under 13-3 at home versus a team with a winning road record.